as most of us know and are aware, suicide actually means killing oneself. Now, most of us have in our lifetime death wishes. All of us would have expressed at times to ourselves or even to others, oh, I'm so tired of this. Why do I have to see this day? Why do I have to live? No one understands me. It is better to be dead. So how common are these thoughts? Very common. And I would say we often say these things when we are angry or upset. Usually these thoughts are very occasional, but when they occur persistently and continuously over days, I am having these niggling doubts or these death wishes, and I don't feel good, I don't feel happy, then one should realize that something is not right. And yes, it's time to express oneself or seek help. Now, it is very often when sometimes the person does not seek help or does not show any inclination to speak, people around him should be observant. And what comes to the notice are these behaviors. So you have to be alert to changes happening in behavior. Now, what are those changes? You might find that the person has suddenly become very quiet, does not go out with friends, or makes excuses. I'm sorry, I'll come after 2 days. Keeps to himself, is often withdrawn. Goes and shuts himself in the bedroom. Does not share his thoughts. He looks sad. If you ask what is wrong, what is happening, they just shrug their shoulders. No, nothing specific, nothing to say. They don't seem to be showing any interest in, say, what is going around in the house, or if somebody gets something, or watching TV with the family, or even if the phone, a phone rings and a friend calls you down, you just say, I'm sorry, I'm busy. So these are very small changes which you start noticing in people. Now, if you prod them, you'll find that they suddenly get very irritated, and on small things like they blow their top. So getting extremely irritated, angry, or becoming very hyper. They get very restless, maybe agitated. Along with it, you will notice some kind of maybe sleep disturbances. They start sleeping very late or don't sleep at all. Or even if they fall asleep, they get up early, and after that, you find that they are unable to sleep. The food intake also reduces, and this becomes noticeable because most of them will say, I'm not hungry, or I feel full. Or even if you try to give them, what they like, and the parents do often make things at home, whatever they like, and they just say, no, I don't feel like eating. Some of them may express a lot of worrying, a lot of, panic-like symptoms, like I can get palpitations, I find my heart rate is increasing, or they have a lot of tremors, they tremble, their extremities become very cold and sweaty. So these are some of the symptoms which we will see in people. These are the behaviors, or the behaviors change, and this is what is noticeable, because the person himself may not be aware or may not tell you that something is wrong. So what I have listed, all these symptoms are actually symptoms of depression and symptoms of anxiety. Now, if you find this change in a person or a friend or a family member, and for the last 15, 20 days, you find somebody is behaving in this manner, then please talk to the person. Try to ask, mingle, interact, try to let them know that you are concerned and they can share. If they are not willing, you have to tell them, I think we should show you to a doctor or to an expert. Because most of them resist, most of them say, no, I don't want to, and don't interfere, I'm okay, and I will be okay. But please don't take their anger or irritability at face value. Please understand that there would be something deeper on which is going on and which should be evaluated. Now, along with these symptoms, the person also starts getting the feel that nothing good is going to happen. He always keeps on saying, it's a hopeless situation. Nobody is going to help him, or he feels he's alone fighting this battle. So they feel lost, they feel helpless. Along with it, they feel that I am not such a good person, or they may blame themselves, or they may feel guilty about, some of their actions, and that, it is right that they should be punished and they should suffer, etc. And along with these, they start getting the feeling, if I die, I don't think it will make a difference to anybody. And this is how these symptoms crop up and they start growing. And when one comes across these kind of negative thoughts, then one should be alert that the person can have suicidal behaviors. Some individuals will also plan out their suicide. Means what will they do? They will tell themselves, okay, I'll give myself 1 month, I'll wait for the situation to change. And if nothing happens, that will be the D-Day. They may plan out the method. Like I have had patients who've collected pills over a couple of months, because sometimes these sleeping tablets are given with a prescription. So you are not given too many pills. So they know that I want to die by consuming 100 sleeping pills. So over 2 months or 3 months, they'll keep on collecting those pills in a bottle. They may go to the shop and they may buy the pesticide bottle. It should be ready at hand when I feel I should die. I have had patients who have also collected razor blades and kept it, so that I don't have to search for something at the last minute. In today's times, we have people who make videos. People talk about their death, or they talk about life. They send it out to friends, family, and sometimes they may even make, we've had horrifying incidents probably last year and a couple of years before, where they have videographed the entire suicide. And it is extremely horrific, but they do it with a very calculative mind. So this is the pre-planning which they do. They may even write a suicide note. So sometimes, they may write it and keep it in a drawer. And if you come across it, please take it seriously. Sometimes they may give away their possessions, which, they value. Like, okay, I'm going to give this to my friend, their clothes, maybe their books, etc. So if you notice anything like this, please consider it serious. Now, just to tell you, I had I was treating a college student who's probably just 18-year-old, and he has a lot of kind of ideas on why should one live and why should one survive and what is the point, because in the end, we are all going to die. So why should I struggle so much, suffer so much in life? It is best I have had enough of suffering and I just want to finish it off and let me just die. So I've been talking to him for quite some time. He's a college going student. Last year was in lockdown. So he was more stressed out being at home and, cut off from company. So one of his college friends, he sent a video. In that he had written that I am not going to see tomorrow. And he kind of gave bhashan on life, kind of, and some one paragraph or 5-minute video, and he said, bye bye now, this is my last video to you. And he sent it, say, maybe around 9:30 in the night. Now the problem today is that most people are WhatsApp friends, virtual friends. Nobody knows where the person stays, who his family members are, because he was not the friend to whom he sent the video was a college friend only. Now that friend was scared to death because he had received a video at 9:30 in the night, and he didn't know what to do, because it was like almost like I'm going to do something to end my life. And he was horrified because when he tried to call him back, the phone was switched off. He did not know where he stayed. He did not know what to do. So another 18-year-old was terrified. But this person, my patient, had, in passing told him once that, I'm seeing so-and-so doctor from this hospital. Now that poor guy searched on the website, tried to find my phone number from the website, and he gives me a call at around 10:30, and he says, I don't know what is going to happen, and I don't know whom to contact and what should I do. So Fortunately for him, I had the mother's number, because we do take the parents' contact numbers. And since I have been talking to him, so I told him not to worry. And then, yes, I contacted the mother. I told them to go to his room. And actually, he had done something. He had injected himself. And in that state, it could be probably just 15 or 20 minutes before my call went. And he was rushed. He was taken to a hospital. And yes, he was revived. So I could avert a disaster then, but every time I may not be able to do so. And the phone call may go to anybody, and they would be at wit's end, kisko bolna hai? Because instead of, calling the family, it is usually these friends who may probably, you've made recently, or they don't know where you stay, they don't know any of your family members. So in such cases, yes, we are helpless. But like I said, if possible, as friends also, we should take details about, भाई कहाँ पे रहते हो, किस area में हो, क्या building का नाम है, for just my information, which most of us now don't do, because we rely so much on the virtual world that, क्या जरूरत है, नहीं पड़ेगी, etc. But otherwise, yes, calling 100, informing them, and then yes, the police can help you in tracking the number and trying to get the area from which the phone call comes. But again, there could be a delay by the time you set all these things in motion. So the responsibility lies on each of us to do our bit. So whenever you get these kind of messages or videos, please remember that it is not the whim of a person. It is not somebody who's just made it for time pass. Please understand that it could be serious. So try to connect to the person or his family at the earliest. So the role played by each of us, or the society or the community, is actually like being a support system for the affected person.